Time for another progress report. So, last time I said I was going to work on a tile editor, and I did that, and you can see some of the placeholder tiles I've gotten. But in order to turn on the tile editor, I have to show you the new thing that I just finished working on. It's this command window at the bottom. In the full game, this will be how you interact with the game, like a text adventure. You would type get ye flask, and the game would respond to that. Right now I have it so that it is evaluating Lisp expressions. So if we do some arithmetic, we'll get the answer printed in my status window over here. In the full game, this is where the game would go, you cannot get ye flask. But we're not quite there yet. This is one of the really powerful things with Lisp, is I didn't have to do anything, pretty much, to get a basic REPL going. The hardest part was probably just getting the ring buffer for the window here so that when you type, I don't know, it'll scroll up like that, right? And that wasn't hard. I just read the string from the text, I call a val, and I push it to my status window. And I also print it over here in case the line gets too long. Easy peasy. In other games, like if I were John Carmack, I would have to create a system of global variables that the console knows how to edit and commands that the console knows how to parse and write all that myself. But with Lisp, I have the entire Lisp compiler at my fingertips. I can do anything that Lisp can do. So for instance, I can set show palette to true, and this will activate my tile editor. So we can click over here, draw some grass, I don't know, draw some wood. Another thing I can do is call my function for loading maps. So here's a little map I worked on, and we can go, it's a little barren, let's add some trees around the well. And then I can save map, and let's load the other one because it was nicer. And you'll notice the function is load and not load map, and you'll notice it's map.lisp instead of something like map.map. And the reason for this is map.lisp is a Lisp source file. This is a Lisp program. All it does is call a single function called tilemap with the tile names as their arguments. This is another powerful thing with Lisp. I wanted a nice and fast way that's flexible as well to save and load my maps. So all I have to do to save the map is take my tile map and flatten it, and then get a list of the names of the tiles, and then I simply put tile map in front, and I print it. And then to load it, all I have to do is define the function tilemap, and it just takes all the names of the tiles and sticks them into the tilemap. One of the things we've got here is this colon syntax. Essentially, it's a little complicated, but as far as we care, it deduplicates all of the instances of the name grass here. Once again, if I were working in any other language and I wanted to implement this, I would have had to do that all on my own. I would have had to define a parser that can read these strings and deduplicate the names and do all that crap. Is that hard? Not really, but I didn't have to do it. Lisp had it for me. Is this the most efficient way? to load a tile map and to save a tile map. Hell no. But it is efficient enough for development. As you can see, it loads pretty much instantly. It might get slower when the game gets bigger and I'll have to tackle that, but it's good enough. And that's all it needs to be, and this is what makes Lisp so good for prototyping. It is so easy to get something that is good enough. And it's also easy to swap it out with something better later. And that's really it. I went over it pretty fast, if you ignore the implementation details, but I feel like this got us a lot closer to a real game. We have a framework for the user interacting with the video game responding and displaying actual graphics. So the next stuff on the docket is to just make it so we actually parse get eFlask, and to have characters that walk around on the screen that you can interact with and, control like a more normal video game and not a text adventure.